Read How to Lead presents a straightforward book review of one of the top books on leadership. Today, we're looking at Switch, How to Change Things When Change is Hard. This book is about change, as the title suggests, and the recurring analogy for the parts of the change equation to be considered are the rider, an elephant, and a pathway. Let your mind think about the rider as the rational side of us, the reflective or conscious system. The elephant is the emotional side of us, with a hunger for instant gratification, but also driven by other strong emotions like loyalty, sympathy, and compassion. So if you're needing to effectuate change, you might reach the riders of your team, and teams will understand what to do, but they might not have the motivation. If you reach the elephants, the passion will be there, but it might be directionless. Breaking through to emotion, that means tapping onto the elephant, riders might be able to drag their elephant around for a little while, but that is sheer effort that won't last long. You really have to appeal to both. First, we'll focus on directing the rider. So the authors ask you to find bright spots. Make it a goal to find something that's working. These types of bright spots are really goal to be mined. Instead of asking what's broken, try instead to find out what's working. For instance, in analyzing malnutrition in Vietnam, experts concluded that lots of things were broken. Lack of sanitation, poverty, lack of water. The one researcher focused on the few mothers who, despite all those conditions, were able to raise healthy children. By following them around, he was able to identify steps that every family could take. So release yourself from the focus on the bad to make sure you thoroughly examine the good. Riders who aren't exactly sure what direction to steer tend to lead the elephant around in unproductive circles. What looks like resistance to you may just be a lack of clarity. Clarity can dissolve resistance, according to these authors. Limit or even eliminate options, because too many choices can really freeze up the rider and lead to reliance on default, the status quo. An example of clarity was a campaign to make residents of a certain county healthier. Pleas of eat better, choose healthy foods, and so on are too ambiguous. The rider has no clear direction and gives up. But when one goal is chosen, and in that county it was switch from whole milk to 1% milk, many residents, and those are the riders, were able to understand that very clear direction and steer their elephant accordingly. The county did in fact improve its health statistics. Notice how you are able to shrink the change. It wasn't eat healthy, it was just using 1% milk. So now let's turn our attention to the elephant. Remember, the more emotional packed side. A destination postcard is what's recommended by the authors. This helps that elephant fall in line with the specifics that your rider now clearly understands. It should be a vivid picture of what success will look like. The example given is an underperforming group of first graders, and the teacher who steps up and says, "Look, by the end of the year, first graders, you'll be third graders." The mantra of the class became, "We will be third graders," and they remained committed to that destination. They tested as high as a third grader. So always use a postcard that's directed to your audience, and it's direct and to the point. Two other quick points about motivating the elephant. The book talks about giving a sense of progress to the elephant. That positive emotion is quite important, and raising the bar, as we all like to say is our goal, might be the wrong instinct if you want to get to that reluctant elephant. The book discusses the familiar customer loyalty tool of the punch card. If you require 8 stamps to get a free car wash, the card doesn't work nearly as well as if you required 10 punches, but you give the customer a head start with 2 free punches. Same result, but you're able to tell the elephant, "Look, you've already started, you've made some progress." By setting that small, visible goal, people can achieve them, and they start having a success mentality. The other point, grow your people. They give an example of a hospital that was concerned about nursing turnover. Very tempting to start with exit interviews to try and fix what's broken. But they decided to look for some bright spots. Why were nurses staying? After investigation, the sense of the higher calling and the pride of the profession was evident. The hospital did everything it could, from the onboarding process to changes in printed materials and celebrations, to honor the nursing profession. The turnover rate decreased. Now, you can provide clear direction to the rider, you can boost motivation and determination for the elephant, but there's a final thing you can do, and that is make that path a little bit easier. Environment, we know, is important and can really impact behavior. That's why the milk is at the back of the grocery store, because that grocer wants you to walk by aisles of food rather than run in, grab milk, and leave. And action triggers that can help build habits are something you should consider. Maybe painting a big blue line around a work site. In the book, they discuss this example as a way to a visual trigger that the workers were supposed to put on safety gear the minute they crossed that blue line. Even an old-fashioned checklist can help you make the path a little bit easier because it becomes a habit. So I really liked this book. It's really good if you happen to be going through change, and probably not just management change or leadership of an organization, but even personal change. It's kind of part psychology and part organizational management. I love books about leading, and I always learn something when I read these books. I invite you to like and subscribe if you want to read along with me. And feel free to comment below. Tell me what you thought about the video and tell me what books I might like to read in the future.